Hello, everyone. Linda Wilson here from Learn to Transcribe Academy. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Valerie Ortega. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, how are you?
Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and tell us where you're from?
So I'm Valerie. I'm from Franklin Park, Illinois, which is basically just 15 minutes from Chicago, right? Near Rosemont and all that for anybody who's not aware, but basically
Okay.
Chicagoland area.
All right. And you told me off camera that in the past, before you started raising your family, you were a pharmacy technician, I believe.
Yeah, so basically I was working as a pharmacy tech. I started having my kids when I was pregnant with my second. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think that retail pharmacy is for me. And even from that point, I was starting to think of what are some things I can do from home while having little kids. I already knew, just, I don't know, I'm sure everywhere in, the United States or wherever anybody's from, daycare is the biggest money that you're going to be spending with kids. So I'm thinking, what's work from home? Um, what can I look into? So I already started looking into that. I stayed home for a couple of years just raising my kids until my son was officially a kindergartner, full time in school. And at that point, which was very recent, at that point, like COVID happened and I was doing my research and a lot more things popped out of nowhere. So you had TikTok, people talking when you search for work from home jobs, which was just, I figured, the simplest thing for me to just start looking. And there really was people talking about legitimate work from home jobs. I was looking when I would Google scam after scam. It was, you're just inundated with so many options during that COVID time where I just didn't know what was legit, what wasn't, until I came across a girl that was plugging your academy. And she was so lovely and she just seemed so real. And I just felt in my gut, I'm going to keep looking into this. She herself would do TikTok lives. And I just gathered more and more information until, kindergarten was coming. My son was going to start, I have to make a decision. I have to choose something because I have to go back to work. These kids are getting more and more expensive. And so I decided to do your program, just save my pennies. I started and I couldn't be more happy to come on here and tell people that it is legitimate. You're going to start making money right off the bat. I chose the one with the apprenticeship. I don't know if you still have the option just to do training and then one with apprenticeship. It is so worth it doing the apprenticeship because you get so much support. It's not just doing the training. I'm sure that just doing the training is wonderful in and of itself because it really is. But there's something about going the extra mile and just sticking with the apprenticeship and having that support outside and, being connected with people that are going to help you, especially with me, because I started from scratch. I didn't know anything about legal transcription. When I would look up, when I would Google transcription stuff, it kind of gets lumped into the other categories of legal, general, and medical. And I guess that those are separate things. Legal is its own beast. And you do get to know that in your program. I was more informed about it when I did do your program, but when I was doing my own research, it kind of gets all lumped together. So anybody who's looking into transcription, beware of that. It's its own thing, legal transcription, and it's real and there's a lot of work. Um, Now that I have finished the program and I did the apprenticeship and I've been linked up, I just started working right away and I am in love with it. It's the best thing I could have chosen for myself to get into. And now I can't imagine me doing anything else, quite frankly.
Oh, that's a great story. I love it. So you started right after you graduated very quickly into work
Immediately.
and went through your onboarding, and I linked you up or with a referral over to a really great company.
Oh, yes.
And you're
Yeah.
still there and you've already started making money,
Yeah.
right?
It's just the biggest thing wasn't even the working and making money. It's a legitimate job. I started working. She's wonderful. I have plenty of work. I'm so busy with her. The biggest thing is more if you've never worked from home, you're going to have to figure out your work-life balance. I've got 3 little kids, but you know what? It's been a couple weeks now, and I have like such a seamless workflow. I know what times of day work for me. My kids have like the expectation, oh, mom works from home now. Let's leave her when she's doing her thing. And so it's like everyone's on board where it's just it just feels so it fits so perfectly into my life, Linda. It's I didn't know that you could like love your job, to be honest. It probably sounds so cheesy. And I even tell my parents, they're like, how are things going? I'm like, I love it. They're like, what? You love working? I'm like, honestly, I really do because it's so fun. Like it's weird to say, oh, it's so much fun, but it's so interesting. I got to tell you, wait, before I was working, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm folding laundry. I'm watching court TV. I don't know if you've ever seen that on the public, antenna TV. It's court TV. I'm like glued to that, not minding my own business. I'm in everyone's business with the true crime and everything. And so it kind of is like that. It's fun. You're listening to it's like sometimes I feel like I'm just folding laundry, but here I'm typing away. I really enjoy typing. So it's like you get swept away in the story of it all. And once you know how to do it after learning from you, it's like muscle memory. It's fun and you're getting paid for it.
That's right. Well,
It's just
you're like you got a front row seat to the courtroom,
yeah, you really
and
do.
you're listening to other people's drama, but it's
Yeah.
you're not personally involved, and you can learn
Yeah.
a lot of stuff too about people this way.
I'm
That
not ashamed to say it. I am nosy, Linda.
yeah,
I am nosy. It's like when you hear someone's in trouble, you're like, ooh, because you're not part of it. So it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And it's just so interesting too, the things that are going on in the world.
oh, it
And
never
it's just,
changes. I mean, 15, 20 years from now, you'll be saying the same thing, assuming you're still doing this. I thought
it's
I'd
wild.
heard it all until today. And you're going to
And
always hear something that just perks your ears up, and you're like, oh my Lord, I never dreamed, it's a learning process. You stay sharp mentally and
yeah,
just never quit, you know, learning new things. And if you're inquisitive and sort of a little nosy like, it's a great kind of job for you because whoo, you will hear a little bit of
yeah.
everything and more in this kind of work. It won't be boring at all.
It's not boring at all. I joke with my friends, I'm a professional eavesdropper. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
but it's a legitimate job and it actually
Yes.
takes, it takes real muscle to really learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I have to tell you, I hope my story resonates with someone who's looking for a legitimate work from home job that are so frustrated looking for all these certificates. What do I pick? Why is everything so much money and you don't even know if it's legitimate? It gets a little frustrating when you're looking to see where you should even start, if
Mm-hmm.
you're even going to enjoy it afterward. And I can tell you that legal transcription, if some of the things that I'm saying really clicks with somebody, it's a great like career and it's interesting. You never get bored. Every hearing is something different. Once you learn how to do it, you're constantly needing to stay sharp because things, what I do on this transcript, I'm going to have to really look into detail for something different because the docket has this going on. There's double dockets. There's just a lot going on. You have to really pay attention. But if you're willing to learn, it's a wonderful job to do. And it fits so seamlessly into my life. I can truly, one of the things that I had heard you talking about when I was learning, looking into your program is you're like, if I need to stop and go to the grocery store, come back, you really are, you are in control of your day, your time management. And if you are able to do that, because some people do struggle with that, if you're able to manage your own time, it is wonderful. It's like
Yeah.
I do have a boss. I do have someone I have to, account, things that need to be accounted for, but I do feel like my own boss because my day is my own, my week, my month. If I'm working and I have, get interrupted, I have to do this. My kids have hockey practice. That's all right. I manage my day and I feel like that is priceless. And you don't get that with a lot of jobs.
That's true. That's a very good point. One of the main reasons that a lot of people go into this particular kind of work is the flexibility and freedom over their personal schedule. You don't have
Yeah,
anybody micromanaging you. They don't care if you do the work at 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, as long as you get it done and get
yeah,
it turned in, per your agreement. That's all they care about as
yeah,
far as, your time management. But like you say, you do have to learn to be a little bit organized so that you're not, playing on Facebook all day or whatever,
yeah,
being distracted. And once you sit down to do your work, treat it like a real job, because it really is. It's
yeah,
a professional level skill that I'm training you for. And
yeah.
you've been through it, you live in proof of it. You started with zero experience, now you're out working, making money, and the program works. And I appreciate you coming out and telling other young moms like yourself. There may
Yeah.
be a lot of other people, similarly situated to you, that this would be a great fit for them to do it too. And I hope so. We need more people in the workforce. We need to bring in more students and get people graduated and out working. And the new thing now, we're gravitating a little bit away from straight keyboarding. So if somebody's not a really fast typist, don't worry about that. You can
Mhm.
have another option there to edit transcripts that are created through artificial intelligence. And you just learn your foundations and what to do with them. And I teach you that too. So
And I'll
what you got
I'll
to
tell
do
you.
is, yeah, figure out, what you want to do, and we'll go with that. And there you go. And you'll have a career down the road. And I
I
sure think,
will touch on that if you don't mind. It's, because there are different programs that I did see that, after taking, if you're stuck between, should I pick Linda's? Should I pick the other ones? If you go to the board, you see other accredited programs that teach you. I will tell you, it's like a one-stop shop for everything. Now that I have taken your, course, the apprenticeship. Now I'm with you for MAXScribe, and I will tell you, it's because of the way that you do your training. It feels like a friend is like, hey, let me teach you this. Don't And there's times in the instruction where you're like, you might be getting overwhelmed. This is a lot of information, but relax. You've got this. And I'm just doing my self-paced training. I'm like, okay, I do have this, and it's so appreciated the way you have a way about you about training everybody, where it truly feels like a girlfriend taking your hand, like, hey, this is how you do it. We're going to do it step by step. You're going to review it. You're going to go back to things. By the end of it, you are going to understand because it's the way that you teach it. So I do saw that there was instruction on MAXScribe and AI things. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go back to Linda because I know that it works. Like I need my girl to hold my hand and
Mhm.
to take me step by step and just lay it out the way that I know I'm going to understand it. It's so clear. It is worth it. If you're stuck between different programs, come to learn to transcribe. It's going to click, and you're going to be so happy, and you're going to work immediately. If you want to work, you're gonna work. The work is there, and it's a great time.
I
It
really
is work.
appreciate you saying that, Valerie. That warms my heart,
I hope
because
it does.
I do,
Because
yeah, I do have my own little style, and that's just my way of how I do things. And I
mhm.
teach people just like I was sitting in the chair right beside them, you know,
Yes, that's how it
and
feels.
guiding them through, talking to them just like I would if it was, my own daughter sitting there. That's just
Yeah.
my style. That's how I do my teaching. And I don't think too many other people do it that way. And
No, because it's so dry the other way. Sometimes I
yeah,
read things, I have to read it 50 times or even watch
yeah,
the video 2 or 3 times. I'm like, well, it's not clicking. But the way that you do it, you're dissecting it, and then you're going over it like a bird's eye view, and then we're gonna get into it a little more detailed. You're gonna practice, and by the end, you're like, oh, I know how to do that. Oh,
right.
no
There you
problem.
go.
So then when
Well,
you go and work and you have a different preference from a client that's different from the training, which you do touch on, every client has their own preference depending on the jurisdiction. it's no problem because you've got that foundation from your
Right.
training where you're like, okay, let's hear your, we'll take it. I'll just switch it because this is your preference. Easy breezy. It's a learning curve, but if you do the work, you're going to be fine because you've got that foundation from your
Right.
course.
And and I reinforce and tell that several times a lot.
Yeah.
You learn to pivot. You get your classic traditional training. This is the core normal. This is what I'm teaching you. And then when
Yeah.
you get out in the real world working for money, each place you go or even each jurisdiction could have slightly different little nuances of how they want something done. Just a
Yeah.
slight pivot. It's
Yeah.
not a problem. Once you know your basics, it's easy. You
Yeah.
just pivot over to how they want it done, make some notes, and you're good to go because
But
you've
you
got
even have those. You even
right.
mentioned it in your training
Yeah,
that this is what happens when your client wants to do it this way. This is how we do it. As
yeah,
long as you know how to do this, I'm like remembering your voices in my head. And because I go back to the training, that's the thing is when you purchase it, it's yours. That was my biggest thing. I'm like, am I going to lose it? I don't want to be like saving this thing. How do I take how do I, it's not a problem. It's yours. Once you
yeah,
have it, it's
sure.
yours. And I go back to it time and time again of like, what was this again? It's just so, it's like a
Yeah,
fixture. It's,
that's right. And you got
yeah.
so many downloads that if you wanted to print them, you'd fill up 15 notebooks probably. And
Oh, you want to see it?
show us yours.
Oh, you can't even see it. Oh, you can't even see it because of this thing I got
That
going, my
Zoom
background.
background. Yeah,
It's my big
yeah,
chunky,
yeah.
that's my learn to transcribe.
It's huge.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's all the downloads, but
Mhm.
it's perfect because it's part of my workflow. And then, you have your client binder with their preferences, but
That's
it's
right.
beautiful. You know how to do it. You know how to organize yourself. You know how to create a workflow for yourself where it's just the most enjoyable work I could have imagined. And it's just awesome to say because I don't think that that's normal that people like their job as much as I'm liking what I'm doing right now. So I feel
Well,
very lucky.
court reporting is the same way, and we have court reporters in the profession that have been there 40 years, 50 years, 35, all like once it kind of gets in your blood, you don't want to do anything else. And that's
Yeah.
very true with court reporting. I know this for a fact. I started in this journey when I was young, 23 years old, and this is all I've ever done my whole entire life. And I don't want to do anything else. And when I
Yeah.
got to a point, you get older, everybody kept telling me, you should teach this, you should teach this, you should teach this. And I said, oh, I don't know. And so finally one day I said, you know what, maybe I will just develop a course. And I did a few years
Thank God
ago.
you did.
And,
Thank you that you did.
I wasn't even sure if anybody would want to do it or take it. And I was surprised they did. And now here we are with hundreds of students that have gone through it. They're out working, making great money. And I just couldn't be more excited and proud for all of y'all, you and everybody else. And I appreciate y'all taking a leap of faith with me and
Yeah.
saying such nice things. You just don't know.
So grateful for you and I can only imagine the amount of work you put in to create this program.
Well,
And even outside, you're always letting us know of, different information on off of Facebook groups and everything. You just stay connected afterwards. You feel so you don't feel like you're floating out and by yourself with this. Once you're into your program, you really feel like you've got a community going and
yeah. I like to know what's going on and I like to share that with my people so
yeah,
that y'all know what's happening out there in the workforce as well. And we
yeah.
all, can learn together. And yeah, so I'm all about the community spirit. I like that myself. And I think that that's how you stay connected where you don't feel so isolated. And a lot of work from home jobs are very isolated. You just feel like you're just working and nobody sees you or cares about you.
I
And
was going to say, it's funny to say that we're talking about that, about a work from home style job that you're like, no, I feel like
It,
I mean, I never see my coworkers, but I mean, you do kind of in
yeah,
a way, you know?
yeah, you can hook up with a company and some of them even have like their own little chat rooms and stuff. Some do, some don't. But
Mhm.
they're there to help you and you're there to help them, and it's a mutual arrangement. And you should be good to go for a long, long time. You're still young enough. You've got a lot of career work life left in you, a lot of
Yeah, I'm
years.
just getting started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think you're going to do great. And you never know, down the road, you may decide you want to go to corporate school, and you may not. And you may want to start your own business. You may, transcription business. You may not. You
Mhm.
can do whatever you want to do now that you've gone through your undergrad training, I guess we'd say. And
Yeah,
so
it's
I
part
think,
of it. It's nice to know that it's not just, you're throwing money down and you're only doing one thing. No, you can actually branch in different
that's right.
directions as time goes on, as you build your skill, get your experience. But I'm happy just being a rookie and, everything's going smooth and it seems like every month, every week that's rolling, it's getting better and better. So I'm like, it just motivates me to just keep going, and again, it's fun for me. It's very interesting work. So I'm like having a great time.
Well,
Like,
I can't thank you enough for coming in and sharing all that information about yourself and your
mhm,
experience that you've had personally,
mhm.
unscripted. Just you said whatever you wanted to say, and that's how I do. That's how I roll.
Literally, I can talk about it like all day. It would be the
Yeah.
longest video ever. I'm like, whatever you want to know, you can ask me. And I just hope that it reaches someone who's maybe on the fence, maybe someone who's brand new and intimidated to take on something, brand new and detail oriented. Don't
Mm-hmm.
be afraid. She's got your back. You will understand. It is just so beautifully made, this program. It is worth it. Just go for it. Give it a go.
Well,
You'll find yourself in a good place.
thank you for saying that. If anybody wanted to talk with you personally, one on one, if they had questions, just shoot an email to me at info@learntotranscribe.com and just say, hey, I saw a video with Miss Valerie Ortega, and I'd love to talk with her. We're not going to put your email address out here on the public, but I'll get y'all connected, and you can ask
Yeah.
her anything you want to from a student or a worker. The other side, instead of me saying it, you're hearing it from her saying.
I'm
And
totally open to that. I was very intimidated to take on this whole process. Even when I got out of I felt well trained. I was ready. You do have nerves. You got that nervous first. And whenever you take on a new job and you're the new person, it's so nerve-wracking. But I'm telling you, once that starts to wear off, and you've just got your knowledge as your floaties, you're going to feel so well supportive because of the knowledge that you've gained from the foundation that you've set with this program. I'm telling you. And anybody who wants to ask questions, I'm actually really open to that because I'm someone, again, I don't have, college degree. I don't have prior, I've got, before pharmacy technician, I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings as a waitress prior to that, but you can really learn this. And if you dedicate yourself, you can do it and you're going to find yourself in a whole new world, and it's just been great. So anyone who wants to know more of that, I'm actually really open to that, Linda, if you want to pass them my way.
okay, well, you just said something important right there. You didn't realize it, I don't think. Education, prior education, you already got it, and I'm telling you what it is from your life. You
Hmm.
you have waitress experience, you know the restaurant business sort of, you understand medications, drug names from
Yeah.
working in your pharmacy. That will carry you better than the little college degree that you could have gone and gotten in, something, because it'll pop up sooner or later. You mark my words, you're going to be working on something and you're going to go, I already knew that. I
Yeah.
remember that from when I worked at the pharmacy, or I
Yeah.
remember that from back, in my restaurant days. And it's funny how life works like that. It's like a building block. and you get out here and it'll reference you back to something maybe from your childhood you had
Yeah.
forgotten completely about. And it's talking about a topic and it brings back memories, Oh, I remember that when I carried my car into the shop. That's
Yeah.
what happened to me too, and what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it triggers. And so you're bringing more than just education with you. You're bringing life experiences and life skills that you didn't even think about, and they will serve you well. Trust me,
Yeah.
especially that pharmacy stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you again for coming in. Unless you had anything else to say, I guess we can kind of wrap her
No,
up.
that's basically it. I just don't want anyone who, doesn't have prior degrees and stuff, because I remember, and when I took my exam, the other students were mentioning, oh, I have this degree and I have this, and I'm like, hi, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, I didn't know what else to say. I worked at a pharmacy 6 years ago, but it's very doable. You've got it. Like, if it's very doable, and I do throw it again back to you at the way that you taught it, because if it was dry, if it would have gone over my head, I would have gotten overwhelmed and I probably would have quit, just like most people would. Many people would when they're like, woo, this isn't for, if you're thinking it's not for you, then you try it and then you get overwhelmed. It's more than likely they're going to say, oh, this is confirmation that this isn't for me. But I'm telling you, as a prime example of, someone who doesn't come from this background, it's totally doable, and it's actually very enjoyable. It's wonderful. So you might not
Well,
get it from a different program, but you're going to get it from this particular one.
right, that's true.
Mm.
Speaking of life experiences coming in, the youngest student I ever had was 19 years old. And I was a
Mhm.
little worried about her because she had just graduated from high school. She didn't have any college. She didn't have any work history, no life experience yet, because she'd been, living at home and in school. And I thought, oh, I don't know. But she taught me into it. And she said, well, just, would you let me take your training? I said, okay, let's conditional it. I'll let you do it, but if you feel like you're getting in over your head, you let me know, and
Mhm.
see what we can do. I'm telling you what, that young lady sailed through it. Her exam was almost perfection. And I
Beautiful.
had her share her screen and I watched her take that exam. So I
Mhm.
know she wasn't cheating. She did great. It was just unbelievable that somebody that young. So see, that proved my point to don't say that anymore. Just because somebody's young, so what? We're all different. And she did absolutely phenomenal with it. And then I've had the opposite of that, people like in their 70s and they're stay at home, they've retired out of whatever they did and they just bored, they want something to do, just maybe make a little spare extra money perhaps. And they do great with it too. So
Mhm.
age is really not a big factor as long as you have at least a high school education. That's really all that's needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had to learn that myself by seeing different people from different age groups and different backgrounds and different educational levels. But I've trained a lot of people. I've trained attorneys, retired attorneys. I've trained a lot of 911 operators. And they like to move more toward the law enforcement side of it, because that's comfortable to them.
Yeah.
Trained a lot of registered nurses, a lot of school teachers. I don't even know what all, but just every kind of profession you can think of, just about. And then a lot of stay-home moms and people who have no work experience at all.
Mhm.
Like Shannon, for instance, never had a job in her life except having babies and raising her family. That was her job.
Mhm.
And she did amazing. She's making between $50 and $80 an hour with it now. And I trained her from scratch. So see, it can be done.
It can
But
be done.
anyway, thanks again. We're gonna stop for now and we'll stay in touch and you keep up with everything and let me know how you're doing. And if you need me for anything, you just reach out. I'll be here for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much, Valerie. You have a great day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.